Do you really want to order Tyson Fury against Deontay Wilder? Not really. But you either follow your rules or...
This is Jonathan Agger, 5th Pro Boxing Fans, joined by Eddie Hearn, weighing all done for Joe Opetaia against Jordan Thompson. Tomorrow night, live on DAZN. Eddie, what was said up there?
It was pretty tame, really, compared to what we've heard earlier in the week. It was just like, we're doing this again, are we? It's the third head-to-head they've had in the last 3 days. And just two guys saying, they just said, I'm ready, I'm so ready. And I love this fight. Like, as the fight's got closer, I know I've got like this measuring stick of the fight in terms of the excitement, and it's my excitement. Do you know what I mean? It's what I feel inside. Sometimes I'll stand at a weigh-in or a head-to-head, and yeah, I'm always excited, but it's different levels. When these guys come together, I'm actually thinking, this could be a fucking great fight. I mean, you've got the number one in the division coming to the UK to defend his belts against an unbeaten Brit who can really punch. I mean, you see the size of Jordan Thompson up there, 6'7", cruiserweight, like massive, like with big legs as well. It's not like he's got skinny legs and big top half. And when he refuels tomorrow, he's going to be massive in that ring. Great chance for him, but Joe Opetaia is a tough, determined man, a very good fighter.
Speaks to him, Jordan Thompson, a couple of weeks ago. There's a level of confidence about him, which may make up for the lack of experience. He said to me that this means more to him in boxing. He wants to headline shows in Manchester. Do you get the impression he's, by any means necessary, wants to win this fight?
I think that's all nice. It sounds nice, but boxing and life really comes down to ability. Do you know what I mean? But the mental aspect will also play a part if that is close. Do you know what I mean? If you've got two guys that are like this in terms of ability, but one guy is mentally ready, strong, prepared, gives them a massive advantage. If there's a gulf in ability and class and skill, just by believing it's your time doesn't win you the fight, but it's important. So the real unknown is, what is that gulf? You know, we've seen a guy with potential in Jordan Thompson, and we're seeing a proven champion in Joe Opetaia. When you have a win like Maris Bradis and you do it coming 9 rounds with broken jaw in 2 places, you know this guy's for real. But I think Jordan Thompson's for real. But we're going to find out tomorrow night. And just because if he doesn't win tomorrow night doesn't mean he's not for real and he can't go on. I think you'll see him at heavyweight very soon. But the reality is, if you're ready, you're ready. And you only find out if you're ready when the time comes.
A lot of industry people are saying he's got 4 rounds to win this fight. Harsh?
I think his better chances in the first half of the fight, for sure, because I think he's going to be at his sharpest. You know, Jordan's one of those, like, I don't even know if this is a thing, but like fast twitch fibers guys, you know what I mean? So he's like, the feints are there, and then boom, like it's over. We've seen that at a much lower level to Opetaia. But when guys rush him and when guys make a mistake, like if Opetaia rushes Thompson and gets caught on the way in, the fight is over. I don't care who it is. But if he gets on his chest, if Jordan doesn't put a dent on him, if we get 3, 4, 5 rounds in and it's grueling, and yes, I think Opetaia becomes a big favourite in the fight. So Jordan has to make a dent early. Doesn't mean he's going to go out and empty the tank in 3 or 4 rounds. He's going to be clinical. But if he can't get hold of Opetaia and hurt him, it's going to be a very tough night at the office.
Your sleeper on the undercard?
My sleeper on the undercard, I mean, there's a couple of fights. I actually think Ellie Scotney's fight's going to be... Laura Griffiths turned up in great shape, very determined. I love Chev Clark against Vasyl Ducar because Vasyl Ducar's unbelievable. He's like, he turns up, right? He looked like he'd just come from the club. Do you see him? He had like black trousers on and a black shirt, and then gets on the scale. I don't mind saying it, I would love to be built like Vasyl Ducar. Have you seen the guy? He's like absolutely carved out of stone. And he's given Chris Billam-Smith a really tough fight. He gave Jordan Thompson a really tough fight. Let's see what Chev can do, because Chev, this is for an IBF regional belt that would see Chev move into the top 15 in the world. He may even be lined up for the winner of the main event. Also look out for Rhiannon Dixon against Sanders for the European title. Really good fight. And Jimmy Sainz making his pro debut. He'll be on the main card because he sold like 700 tickets. So, and great before the bell action as well. Shannon Ryan, fantastic talent. Maisie Rose Courtney looking great. George Liddard really starting to excite and sell a lot of tickets. And Ibrahim Suleiman as well. It's a good night of boxing.
Just a couple more to rattle off. You said yesterday, I think, to IFL that the Joshua Wilder fight is off for December. So who are you looking at?
January. Yeah. just that I just don't. But I mean, look, someone could change that, but realistically, I don't see Joshua Wilder happening in January. There are talks about February and March, but the next thing for us, which is probably over the next week, is just to decide, can we get that fight done? Is it actually going to happen? And if not, are we going to fight in December? That's really my immediate focus. So AJ will want to know next week so he can get into camp. Am I fighting in December?
So there's been no talks with any opponents yet outside of Wilder?
Not for December, no. I mean, there's always ongoing talks. People phoning me up, we're all ready, we're doing this, and obviously through the process last time, around Dillian White and Helenius and that kind of thing, we speak to everybody all the time. So we know who would be realistic to take the fight and who wouldn't, but we haven't explored that yet.
A couple of weeks ago you told me that Bivol Arthur was a fight you're looking at. Any progress with that?
No, I don't think we made progress on that. We offered the fight to Aziz, obviously Boatsy before, Lyndon Arthur as well, but it doesn't look like it'll be any of those three in December.
Lewis Ritson was rumoured to fight Harlem Eubank. His fight just got announced it's not Ritson, so does that push that back for the Newcastle card? No,
you know what? We're going to go to Newcastle on November 11th. We're just finalising it now. And it's a shame because Cyrus Patterson was supposed to fight Lewis Ritson. That fight was signed for November the 11th. Cyrus Patterson got beat in a great fight with Conor Walker. And then we went to Lewis Ritson and said we want to do Pat McCormack against Lewis Ritson, which I absolutely loved. And Lewis didn't want to take that fight. The Harlem Eubank fight got offered to him. I believe that the problem was the weight. I think it's at 140. I think Lewis wants to be at 147. So he didn't feel like Pat McCormack was the right fight for him. We went back on forward on that, but we couldn't get it over the line. So Pat McCormack will face another opponent, and he will headline what is likely to be a next-gen card on November the 11th.
Billy Joe going to fight on DAZN in December?
Yeah, we're talking to. I've got to call him after this. Actually, he wants to fight in December. December 2nd's a possibility. December 23rd, maybe on the undercard of Ben Eubank, if we were to get that over the line. But he's ready to fight. I think he'd have a comeback fight first, and then he'll headline in the spring.
And Maurizio Sullivan saying that Tyson Fury has no mandatory at the moment. People on social media saying, look, if he's not fighting, pro boxers, he should be stripped or vacate the belt. Thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when you represent the champion, it's lovely to not have a mandatory. I mean, I wish we didn't have mandatories when AJ was fighting, because it was a ball ache and it actually produces inactivity, problems, people trying to mess you around. But as the champion, there are rules that you should have a mandatory. One of the biggest problems is because of the inactivity from the other ranked fighters. Like number one in the division at the moment is Deontay Wilder. Do you really want to order Tyson Fury against Deontay Wilder? Not really. But you either follow your rules, or what Maurizio's doing, actually, in the interests of making big fights, is good and it makes sense. So he said, I don't want to order a fight. There is no mandatory. There's been no eliminator or anything like that. And Tyson Fury might fight Usyk, and I want to see that, which is actually the logical thing to do. But under the rules, if you are a guy who's ranked number one, I'd be kicking and screaming. I mean, if you look at Filip Hrgovic at the moment, under the IBF rules, that fight should have been ordered against Usyk. But everyone's saying to the IBF, hang on, we're trying to make Fury Usyk, etc. Fury's got a fight coming up in, 4 weeks? They should be ordering that fight. Now, whether there's a step aside or whether there's negotiations, I understand. But if you're actually earned that position, like Filip Hrgovic, you should get that position. But I do agree with Maurizio in the sense that there is actually no one positioned that has won eliminators, that has been waiting a long time. But it goes down to the one rule for one rule for another. If it, again with the Usyk situation with the IBF, if that was an unknown champion without a big fight, we would have got the letter the day after the Daniel Dubois fight. So it can't, is that right? That's business, that's life, and that's certainly boxing.
Final one. You told me the other day that Berlanga Munguia is not happening yet. I saw on social media Gabe Rosado said about fighting Berlanga or something like that. Is that a fight you're looking at? Puerto Rico?
Retired. Is he looking for one to come back?
He said that Berlanga hasn't really fought anyone and things like that.
Yeah, I think that our plan is to make Munguia against Berlanga, and realistically that's going to come after one more for them, after speaking to both camps. I think Munguia will fight Ryder, and if John can do the business, he'll fight Edgar Berlanga, and Berlanga will fight around January as well, and then we'll see what happens with the winners. But hopefully John Ryder can get that fight against Jaime Munguia in January.
Eddie Hearn, appreciate your time.
Cheers, mate.